Hello, 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 and welcome to my podcast, Life with Jode, where we talk about anything and everything. On today's episode, we are talking to Senna. She is the founder of Miss Bariatric. She has also undergone weight loss surgery, also plastics. She has also competed in her own pageants, which led her to gain her international Ms. crown. I'm not going to keep you waiting, and we're going to jump right into it. Let's welcome Senna.
My name is Senna, or as I go on the platform, Senna Michelle, because I just love to have things formal. I don't know why. Everyone calls me Senna or Sen or Senzo. Senna Michelle on everything. I don't know why. I am the director of Miss Bariatric. I am the current reigning International Miss United Kingdom. I'm a mum of 2 girls, and I had weight loss surgery, oh my God, almost 4 years ago now.
Have you had any plastics at all?
I have. I've had my boobs done twice. I actually bought this top the day I had my first surgery because I was like, I want to be able to wear cute tops. And I had a reduction in lift first, and then I went back and had implants. And I was like, I just want a cute top. So this is it. This is the cute top that I bought the first time. And I've also had a extended tummy tuck, which I had just over a year ago.
And how was the recovery and everything for you?
I will say to people time and time again, having implants in is the worst surgery that I've had. I don't know how people go out and have mummy makeovers and have everything done in one go because, yeah, the implants was just awful. The reduction in lift was an absolute walk in the park. I did not even know I'd had surgery. I felt instantly better. My back felt better. Just everything felt amazing afterwards. But yeah, the implants was hell. The tummy tuck, it was as you just think, like it was tight. I was hunched for a bit. More mentally draining than physically demanding was one, getting your head over the fact that you think you're going to get rid of this loose skin and be fine afterwards, and actually you end up not fitting into the jeans that you were wearing pre that loose skin removal. And it's a massive, massive mind maze of trying to go, but I should be smaller. And eventually you are, but it's really hard to get your head around that and get to the point where you are realising the benefits of that surgery because you're just so swollen afterwards.
Yeah, that's going to be my question. Is it because of the swelling that you have?
And you keep swelling for, like, even now I get swollen. Things like, you know, when it's time of the month, you notice it a lot more because you haven't got that skin there. And I guess kind of like normal people who haven't gone through the whole, you know, being obese and having the loose skin, I think maybe like they realise it, they know they're swollen and they realise. I think for us, well, we've never noticed that before because we've never been able to feel our bodies that way or see our bodies that way and the actual physical changes. Now you really do notice it.
I've not had plastics yet, and I do want my boobs doing, but I keep saying to everyone, I want to wait until I've had kids, because I've heard stories of you have to go have a revision after having kids because your boobs go back to the way they used to be or whatever. So I was just like, we'll wait. But
Yeah, I mean, I look at it as like I've had quite a few friends who have had, speaking about kids, right? I'm going to go and tap them off because they are manic. What was that you were saying about wanting kids?
well, I have a cockapoo. I feel like if I can handle her, I can handle anything.
Oh God, I've got one of those as well. Well, not a cockapoo, she's Cocker Spaniel Cross Beagle, but she is manic. The other one is asleep upside down on the sofa and could not give more. Could not care less about life. Yeah, boobs after kids. Quite a lot of my friends who have had augmentations when they were younger and then they've had kids, they actually don't, like, they look more natural after.
I have to look into it.
Yeah, I think as long as they're under the muscle and it's done well, I think it is actually okay and it is fine to do. I think they just recommend not falling pregnant for about 18 months after. And then also there is, I think, the risk of not being able to breastfeed where they interrupt all the ducts and things. But otherwise, I think most people are okay afterwards.
I've not really done much research into it because it was like one of them things I'm like, oh yeah, I'll put it off until next time.
You look amazing anyway. Like, it doesn't even, I know it's how you feel, isn't it? But like, yeah, you look great anyway without anything, so you
I mean,
don't.
I look in the mirror and I go, you know what? I look really, really good. But, and because I had big boobs when I was bigger and now it's mainly just skin. So sometimes I look in the mirror and go, oh, they look fine. And then the next day I'll be like, oh my God, they're literally just
You
gigantic.
lean forward to pick something up when you've got no clothes on, and you're like,
Oh God, what are they?
I still have that though, because where I've got my natural tissue and then I've got the implants behind now, when I lean forward, obviously my implants stay where they are, but my actual boob goes, and it
Ew.
absolutely cracks me up.
No, it's also like my bum. I used to have a really good bum and now I just
I
don't.
have one. I've never had a bum, ever.
I mean, it's just,
I have the world's longest back. That's it. All the way down.
we always find something to nitpick at ourselves, don't we? As girls, we just go, you know what? Don't
All the
like about
time.
now. Then you get something like sorted or like Botox or whatever, and then you go, okay, what's the next thing that I don't like about myself this week?
It's so bad, isn't it? I try so hard with my girls. I'm really open and honest. Like, we walk around the house naked and I'm, very open about our bodies. My eldest, she's always like, I don't understand why you've had so many surgeries. I don't understand why you'd want to chop your boobs. I don't understand why you'd want to do this. And I kind of like it. I like that she kind of criticizes me on it, because I think actually you're going to be really happy in your body because you're criticizing me for doing these things. And she's like, I'd never do that.
What made you have weight loss surgery in the first place?
So, funnily enough, I actually wanted a breast reduction and lift for ages. I think I went for my first consultation in 2012 and my BMI was too high. And when I say my boobs were huge, I had like 42G boobs. They were just so massive. I had previously fractured my spine in a horse riding accident, so my back was just in pieces all the time. I actually went to the NHS as well, and they were like, yeah, you'd qualify, but your BMI doesn't. I was like, this sucks. Then after I had children, I put on more weight, with my first mostly. After I had her, I actually had really bad postnatal depression. I didn't want to leave the house. I felt like people were staring at me like, oh, look at her fat mum, what a terrible example she is. I ended up like any excuse that I had to be like, oh no, sorry, I can't come, I would just use, and I wouldn't leave the house. I didn't want to wear, I had like 3 items of clothing that I felt comfortable in, and that was it. And clothing when you're bigger is horrendous anyway. Like, this was the cold shoulder peplum era as well. So it was just, I didn't feel good at all. I started going to the gym, doing everything myself, and just really had this motivation. Lost 3 stone by myself. And then COVID hit. And as soon as I was like foot off the pedal, the weight started creeping back on again. I fell pregnant with my second. And I was actually back to my pre-pregnancy weight 2 weeks after having her, because I was so mentally like, cannot get like bigger. I cannot let myself like what happened with my first. I don't want to be like that. And that mentality kind of kept following through with me of like, I don't want to be like that. I don't want to feel like I did after my first. And while I was sat at home, I came across an Instagram post. It's actually Nancy's Odyssey. I don't know if you know who she is, but she'd had surgery with Dan Marsh, who I had my boobs done with, and I'd been looking, I was like, I want to have my boobs done with him. And her post came up and I was like, oh my God, I cannot believe how she's lost all that weight and managed to have these surgeries with the surgeon that I want. And when I looked on her page, I saw that she'd had a gastric sleeve, and I was like, I'm doing that. And I saw another post with a surgeon. So I contacted that surgeon and saw like all the good reviews and everything. And it was only kind of like an hour away from me at Gatwick Park, and booked my consultation. And whilst I was on, he was like, I do actually have surgery space in 4 weeks' time. And I was like, yeah, I'm doing it. So we took out a loan. My husband was really supportive. He was like, if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. And like, let's do it. So 2 weeks later, I started my LRD. 4 weeks later, I had my weight loss surgery, and life has been crazy since.
I can imagine. It's been crazy for me. For what, I had mine just over a year ago, and life has just completely turned upside down, and for the better, to be fair.
Yeah, it is definitely for the better. I mean, I never would have seen myself. I always posted my journey on Instagram. And I don't know, everyone seems to kind of be like on TikTok now rather than the kind of Instagram weight loss girls and men. But like, my Instagram account, I was like, why are people so interested in following this? Like, this is crazy. And it just kept growing and growing and growing. And I've always kind of authentically just shared that journey. And the friends I've made, it's just been such a journey. I've been on holidays with girls, they were all at my wedding. It's just been the most incredible journey. And then kind of, getting brands contact me getting scouted like in pageantry and getting into that, and obviously that's kickstarted a whole other ball game. It has just been the most incredible journey. And I did say to my partner, you know, are you happy for me to discuss other elements of my journey or our journey together? Because it's no secret to anyone that knows me that our relationship took a massive hit from me having weight loss surgery, and that is really, really common. I think the rates are like 80% of couples separate after weight loss surgery. And I don't think anyone really talks about how hard it is on your partner as well. And he's kind of said, you know, they don't get support their end. They don't know what to expect. They don't know how they're going to feel. And he's always felt really unsupported and not in it with me. And I completely relate to that. You know, we went through hard times. We called off our wedding in 2022. Where we broke up, and yeah, it has not been easy. We've gone through a lot. We've had couples therapy together, and like I said, I made sure that he was comfortable with me kind of saying all of this, which he is. He's like, I want people to know how hard it is for the other half as well. And yeah, we've come out the other side, ended up getting married in 2023 actually. And he now, I think, once he'd shared with me how that was for him, that definitely made a change in the relationship of why he was behaving the way he was, and we managed to work through that together. So I just think, obviously, if you are in a relationship and you're going to have a gastric sleeve, communicate with your partner all the way through, because it's so easy to go, oh my god, I'm having the best life, and just be really selfish, which I get. I get it.
Well, I was same as you. Lockdown hit, loads of weight put on. I got out of lockdown. I literally focused on going out and walking for as long as I can to then lose weight, and I think I lost about 3 stone. And then the second lockdown came into play, so then I ended up putting weight back on.
Oh,
It was a massive yo-yo effect of putting on, losing, putting on, losing. Then a toxic relationship happened, so then all the weight that I'd lost, and I was at a healthy weight and I was happy with my body, I ended up putting it all back on due to emotional eating and binge eating, which obviously isn't the best way to do things. And then I got with Kyle. We met 2022, end of 22, and then we got together officially at the start of 23. So at this point, I was probably not my highest weight, but I was creeping up to it. And we were doing the gym together, and we were pushing each other to eat healthy and X, Y, and Z. But then you get comfortable in a relationship and you just eat food and you just kind of like stop trying, if that makes sense. And then weight loss surgery has always been something that I've kind of like looked into, but not briefly, just because I have a family history of obesity and food issues and stuff like that. So it was always something at the back of my mind going, it could be an easier way to nip it in the bud and not get to the stage where other people have been at.
yeah.
I was talking to Kyle about, I don't like healthy eating and everything. It works, but it don't last. I end up going back to my old ways. And then his best mate was engaged / married to Abby. He was like, oh, I'm sure she's had some form of weight loss surgery, blah, blah. I think a couple of weeks later, I reached out. She obviously gave me all the information. She gave me the company she went with, and then she was just like, if you are wanting to do it, do your own research. And I was like, yep, no worries. So I think I asked her like August, September time of 23. And then I reached out to a coordinator in 24. And then I was like, we need to book it and try and get it in as soon as possible. Because if I think about it for too long, I'm going to back out. And then
I totally get that. That's what I was like.
I booked it for the February 20, booked it in November 23, then had the surgery in February 24. Kyle was like, I fully support you. I'm happy to come with you. This, that, and the other. He didn't have a choice in coming with me. When I got when I got told I had a companion that could come, I was like, book it off. You're coming with. I'm not going on my own. And then he was just like, I fully support you. You do what you want to do. And he's completely supported me throughout. Always been there for me, fighting your corner.
Yeah. I mean, I've never given Dave the credit. Like, he has been really supportive and he has done a lot for me to help. Obviously, like, even just the paying for things, or looking after the kids whilst I'm swanning off and having these surgeries. Like, he has been good. It's so nice to have a partner there with you.
Definitely, completely agree.
I try and educate. I went through a period of doing like Instagram lives, and I think the biggest thing is that if you're looking at weight loss surgery, you do just need to do your research. I'm totally not against people going abroad for surgery. I went to Lithuania for my tummy tuck, but you just need to do your research. Make sure you are going somewhere reputable, make sure that you're getting aftercare, make sure if there are issues, how they resolve them. It's I know you said obviously like easy. I think it's more efficient is a good way to say what weight loss surgery is, but efficient doesn't mean easy. Yeah. I don't know. I've spoken about it so much that, like I say, it's like almost 4 years now, and it is life changing. There's still sometimes where I look in the mirror and I'll go like, oh God, that's not me. Or I'll look at old photos and that's not me. And it's really hard to go, well, who am I? Where am I? I don't understand.
Imposter syndrome and body dysmorphia is crazy, especially at like such an early stage of the journey.
You worry as well that you're going to put the weight back on, I think, when you're really early. And I think for me, like, I ended up holding on to so many of my bigger clothes because I thought, I might need them. And you get your head around that. And now it's like the last 2 summers, I've got the same clothes. And actually, clothes that I was wearing last summer are smaller on me now than they were then. And I'm like, this is so weird, because you wouldn't think so like 4 years out, but they are.
Did you kind of like give yourself like a fluctuation bracket?
So I lost 8 stone, and then I put on almost 2.5 year mark. So actually, it was just after the wedding. I think it was that mentality of like, oh, thank God, I'm free. But also just obviously like your support kind of dwindles off. You're a lot more comfortable. You can eat a lot more. Old habits crept back in. And it was like 20 pounds. So it was almost 2 stone regain. So I tried doing that myself. I did go to the gym. I obviously walk the dogs and everything as well. So I was still active, but I have PCOS. And I hadn't had any symptoms since I had my sleeve. And I started getting symptoms, and my cycle started getting a bit funny again at kind of at that 2 year mark. Went and had a scan. They're like, yeah, you are absolutely covered. Your ovaries are riddled. Awesome. And when I went to the GP, they finally took me seriously for once. And without even a question, they were like, oh, here you go, have some metformin. I was like, you could have put me on this when I was 17. I never probably would have got as big as I did in the first place. So that's kind of annoying. I was really annoyed about that more than anything. But then that had me lose a little bit. And I found that I was then eating exactly the same as I was, but maintaining whilst I was on the metformin. And I kind of had this like little moment where I was like, I'm going to try, because I've heard people talking about semaglutide for PCOS symptoms. So I went on semaglutide, lost all of my regain, and actually ended up losing more, which took my loss to 9 stone. So I am the smallest that I have been since having my sleeve, which is mad to think that you were still. I know obviously I was using semaglutide, but I was then still losing kind of that far away. I then stayed on like the starting dose of semaglutide, which was it was nothing. It wasn't like a weight loss amount, but it had me maintaining. And that's a whole other ball game, was weaning myself off of that and having that as a safety blanket, but then switched back to metformin, and I've maintained completely. So it goes to show that there is definitely an element of metabolic medicine and reasoning behind why I would put on weight more than kind of the standard person. And it is obviously causing something, because otherwise I wouldn't be eating the same, and actually when I have something balancing my hormones, I'm fine. So yeah, it's just really annoying that the GP was like absolutely fine with giving it to me when I'm 9 stone and not when I was a teenager complaining of the same problem. It's just bizarre to me.
I don't understand doctors or NHS or anything, because there was some issues before I went for my surgery where I thought I was some form of intolerant to something. They did loads of tests and everything came back relatively normal. So they were like, we don't have a clue what's going off with you. And then I think about a couple of weeks later, I was due to go for my weight loss surgery anyway. So I was just like, you know what, sod it. We'll see what happens. And other than needing my B12, maintaining my vitamins, I'm fine. I bloat like a balloon when I have too much bread, but I feel like everyone does, if I'm honest.
I
I'm
still
like,
can't eat
"What's the
pasta.
baby?"
That is like one of my, I loved pasta so much, and I still can't eat bloody pasta. And it really, really upsets me because all I want to do is have like a nice bowl of bolognese. And I have like one forkful of spaghetti, and I'm like, it's horrible. Like we went to Italy and I couldn't eat anything.
No, you know, when you smell bread, and when you go to like a
Yeah.
bakery and you smell bread, and then I think, oh, a soft bread cake, and then like
Oh, with
the thought
butter.
of it, and then I'm just there like the thought of it now, like the thought of it is nice, but then also the thought of it is like,
I'm
if
gonna
I
feel
have a
horrendous.
bite, I'm gonna regret it so much. So I try so hard to just stay away from the bread.
That's my worst at Christmas as well, is when there's like the nice fresh baguettes caked in butter with pate, and I'm like,
You
you
know
can
what?
take the fat out of the girl, but she'll always be a fat girl.
So the next topic of conversation is pageantry in general before we move on to Miss Bariatric.
Pageantry in general. Oh my god, I lose years so much. It's so confusing. 2023, I had a message in my Instagram DMs from a regional director of Miss Great Britain, and at first I thought it was a massive joke and a scam, and I completely ignored it.
As you
And
do.
then, as you do, and I was like, why are they messaging? Like, that's so weird. Why are they messaging me? And then I thought there was mutual friends, so I messaged a friend and was like, do you know who this is? Because like you follow them. And she said, yeah. Like she's, international title holder, and like she's legit. I thought, oh, she's messaged me. She's like, reply to her. Okay, fine. So I replied, I got a bit more information. And it was kind of a time where I was like, I'm just going to say yes to opportunities. Rather than try and hide away, I really want to try and push myself, say yes to things, and just see, if you weren't ready for an opportunity, it wouldn't present itself to you. It was kind of my ethos at the time. And I got more information. I thought, sod it, I'll do it. I'm just going to throw myself into this. So I competed in the regional heat for Miss Great Britain. I had absolutely no intention of placing or anything. Like, I was just there for a good time. I was just there to wear the dress. I was just having a great time. And I went to Pamela Jane Bridal Boutique in Camberley because she was sponsoring the event. And I got to try on evening dresses. And it's kind of an experience that I never had in that sense, is that I didn't do that for like prom and things. So that was just crazy for me, that she was pulling dresses off the rack and I was expecting her to be like, here's a size 14, here's a size 16. And she's like, here's a size 10. And I'm like, I'm sorry. And it made me feel so good about myself. And then there was a swimsuit round and a little black dress round. And again, like trying on swimsuits and trying to like get comfortable. And I'd only had my boobs done at this point, so I hadn't had tummy plastics or anything. And I just embraced all of it. And when I stepped out on stage, it was the feeling of just complete, I wouldn't say overwhelmed, but it just filled me with this feeling where I was like, this feels incredible. I am owning myself, I'm owning my body. And I couldn't stop smiling. Like, all the photos are horrendous because I'm just like, and I knew like I hadn't done well at all, kind of thing, but I just fell in love with it. I think it was a couple of weeks later, I met up with Kirsty Fletcher at the local pub. I said, I've got an idea that I want to present to you. And I said, do you think people would be accepting if I did this just for women who have had weight loss surgery? Because I had met people on that journey, but there was a girl who'd had meningitis, so she was covered in meningitis scars. There were other girls who had been through some really kind of tough, trying things. And actually, you'll find that in the pageantry world, that is quite common. Is these are girls who they're all hard-working girls, and they all have platforms that they are supporting. And I didn't really know that before. And I said I would like other women to feel more comfortable putting their foot forward and getting this opportunity, because the confidence I gained was just unbelievable. It was the most, like I say, just this filling feeling. And she was like, well, I don't know, what's the community like? And I was like, well, I kind of know a few people in the community, so I feel like I could do it. And that's how Miss Bariatric started. And it didn't obviously run until a year after that conversation. Actually, probably a little bit more than that. And I just kept pushing and pushing. And I competed again at Surrey in the June. My goal then was, I want to place. I want to prove to these girls that I can place in this pageant. And I didn't, and it really, really, really bugged me. And I was like, I didn't try hard enough. Granted, I had been at the bariatric ball the night before, so I'm not sure I was in the best frame before attending. I left Coventry at like, I think it was 5:30 in the morning, drove straight to Surrey and competed. Might have contributed, might not have been my best version of myself. And 2 weeks later, there was Kent as well. And I thought, no, I'm going to go and compete at Kent because I know I didn't do my best. And I went to Kent with kind of no expectation and ended up placing second runner up. Again, like, it was just amazing. And then Miss Bariatric came, and it was so much more successful than I could have dreamed. I just thought I was going to put this little thing on and, you know, a few girls would get a really nice confidence boost from it and it would be amazing. And a week before the event, the Mirror contacted me and were like, I see you're doing this. Would you mind if we attended and ran an exclusive? I was like, be my guest. Literally come, do whatever you want. It's yours. Run with it. And when that ran, 2 days after the event, I then got a call from This Morning. And they said, you know, we've seen this, it looked incredible. Would you come and speak about it and bring some girls with you? Yes, I can. And that in itself was the most surreal experience. But it proved that I had a platform. It proved that not only did I have a voice to say what I wanted to and empower women, I was giving others that opportunity as well. Because it's not just the weight loss that kind of, you know, you've been through, because obviously you're competing this year. You know, you look at any of the contestants, they all have another reason behind their story. And it's nice to give women a voice and have them be heard and have them supported, not just as a weight loss journey, but kind of all together.
Mm-hmm.
And Jasmine Foley, she won International Ms at the International Crown. So she's our current reigning international queen for International Ms. And part of her empowerment was that she wanted to bring that to the UK because it hadn't been run as a live regional heat before. So when I saw that she was bringing that across and I saw how it was scored, you know, what the system stands for, it just aligned with me perfectly. Kind of, you know, showing that I had already made an impact, showing that I had an empowerment plan and how I want to continue to grow that. And obviously you get to wear the pretty dresses as well.
Always a bonus.
It was just the whole package for me that I just thought, I'm going to do that one. I'm going to park GB because I'm not sure whether I fit maybe what they're looking for. And that's fine. I still love GB. You know, I had amazing experiences with them. But I was like, that is perfect for me. And I obviously competed. And then I'm now International Miss United Kingdom.
Well done, well done. We were all rooting for you. All the Miss Bariatric girlies were all in the chat going, "What's happening? What's happening?" Or "I'm watching it. And it's so good." I was so proud of you. What did your husband and your kids think?
I don't think my husband believed it. I think the video of him, because there was people like on the whole front row filming, and you can see the video. He's just like filming me, and I don't think he like acknowledges that it was my name that was called. He just sort of like, then it kicks in. That's my wife's name. Oh, whoops. My daughter was there, my eldest daughter. She just absolutely erupted. She was so happy. And after I'd done my first walk as queen, I walked back and I just pulled her up on stage. And she said, like, that was my favourite bit, is when you pulled me up on the stage.
Oh, bless.
And bless, when I got home, I had congratulations banners because Dave drove home that night. He had to get the girls back for school. And bless him, he'd gone and got congratulations banner, congratulations balloons, all of this. And my littlest had bought me a tiara in case I didn't win. She was like, I got you one just in case, but I didn't have to get it because you won.
Oh.
And she always walks around the house going like, Mummy's a queen.
She could use it for herself as a little princess one.
I mean, she did. They have absolutely battered it now, so it is in 1,000 pieces in the bin. They did the whole Mean Girls, you know, snapping it off to each other. But that is just, yeah, it's so surreal to think. I wanted to prove that if you keep pushing, you can achieve it. So to actually do that, it doesn't feel real at all. And when I turn up to, like, you know, I've been to Galaxy and I've been to Mrs. UK, and again, like, the imposter syndrome, I'm like, this doesn't feel real. Like, I'm a queen.
What am I even doing here?
I'm a national title holder. Yeah, it's so bizarre. It's honestly so bizarre. But again, it's another community where I've made so many friends and you have stuff in common. And, you know, I horse ride and I found girls where I've just been talking to them online and actually found out we have so much in common. And I've made friends that I just FaceTime and talk to. And it's just awesome. I love it so much.
What was it like for you planning everything? So obviously, I know you've been planning Miss Bariatric at the same time as trying to plan for your own pageant. How did you handle the stress? And did you have any kind of like, because a lot of the girls for Miss Bariatric this year are talking about little themes that they want to do in their dresses and stuff. Did you have
Yeah.
any themes at all?
So I did. A lot of my, you probably see it on my Instagram. It's been on there for years. Is I love the quote "Fight for your fairy tale." So the second time I did Surrey, I went with kind of like this enchanted type theme. So my swimsuit was kind of like pink and a little bit like fairy-y. It had a fairy type vibe. The same with my little black dress. I had like the black feathers, so it was like sort of, bit fairy-y. And I had a green gown because it was like, again, that enchanted green growth kind of feel. You don't get enough time to say that in your interview. You don't, the judges aren't going to notice. And I think unless it is really, really pressing to you as to why you're doing that theme and it is part of your whole piece and platform that you've put together, it's quite difficult to do. So I didn't do that for international Ms. I very much was, I think because then it's like my fourth time going back and doing a pageant, I knew a little bit more about how I felt in different outfits when I was on stage. So I knew for me at Kent, when I did fun fashion, I adored fun fashion. I knew what I wanted to wear. I knew what I felt good in. I knew the routine of my walk that I wanted to do. And actually I scored so much better in that I stayed a bit more true to myself and what I was comfortable in. And it must have shone through because I also won Best in Runway at International Miss. So it kind of worked. I did, however, wear my Miss Bariatric gown that I wore for presenting because it was sentimental to me and my plan.
Mm-hmm.
So it was quite important for me that I wore that gown again because it tied in. But I never said that. They would have noticed because they were kind of a lot more hot on social media, or judged on your social media during international Miss. So they probably would have noticed in my videos and things that it was the same dress. But yeah, otherwise I'd say just really feel yourself, make sure you're comfortable, make sure you like the way it moves on you. Like you've just got to feel so comfortable in it that it is part of you. My little snippet of advice there.
I have not tried on my evening dress since the content day. Obviously, I had my little issues after the content day, and then I just wasn't feeling comfortable, and then I'd put on loads of weight, and then I'd lost loads of weight, and then I would just say, like, I also need help getting into the dress.
It's really hard, isn't it?
I was scared of ripping it or breaking it and stuff like that, and then it's just like, but I need to practice walking in it. But all my rooms in my house are quite small, so I can't do a full like walk length. So I need to see where I can.
As long as you can walk, it's fine. Like evening is so much slower, so you just need to like be able to move the dress. As long as you can move freely underneath that dress, you're all right.
I'll have to give it another go when I get a chance.
I can't wait to see everyone this year. Oh, it's just going to be so good. It's going to be so good. But planning it is, I don't feel stressed doing it because I know what I want and I know what I want to achieve. And I think obviously there's times where I'm very, very quiet. I don't reply to people and I'm like, oh guys, it's like you've got so much time, it's fine. But I'm very much like that in my own mentality anyway. I think the first one, we were 2 weeks away and my mum was like, have you done XYZ yet? I was like, no, should probably do that, shouldn't I? But I've got the crowns are there, the winning sashes are all there. I have had a little play, and actually this has just come from international Miss and what I've learned and when I've spoken to judges and when I've watched other pageants, is that I'm tweaking the judging slightly. So that will be news for everyone when this comes out and they watch it and go, oh my God.
So obviously you're not going to give away what the new judging is, but what was the last judging? How did you go about it all?
Previously, so the first Miss Bariatric, it was, I believe, 40% interview, and then it was 20, I'm going to get it all wrong, aren't I? Maths, not, I work in finance, mental maths, not my thing. So it was like 40% interview, 20 little black dress, 20 fun fashion, 20 evening. So swimwear they did, but you were not judged on swimwear. that score was not included.
Was that due to any reason at all?
I didn't want girls to feel like they were being judged on their body. I didn't want them to feel it was purely
Empowerment.
for the empowerment, get comfortable getting uncomfortable. It was literally just about that. And they loved it, and they loved it so much. And everyone was like, I don't know why I was so worried about it that I've put it into the scoring this year, because they all smashed it. Like, everybody embraced their bodies. You know, there were girls there who were not very far out from surgery, girls who'd had plastics, girls who had some plastic. Like, it was just such a mix. And every single one just absolutely embraced their body. And the judges actually on the day, you know, I had the regional director of Miss Great Britain, I had the reigning Ms Surrey GB, I had the international reigning, she's royal, I think. God, she's going to kill me if I don't get that right. Ms Royal. And they were like, this was so hard. Like, some of these girls that are competing could easily take on a mainstream pageant stage. And that is what a load of them have gone and done. And I said to Pam, so she was second runner up at Miss Bariatric, and I was like, you don't understand like how strong like all of you girls were in terms of what you'd look at on a national pageant stage. And she didn't believe me. And I was like, enter Galaxy, like, please just trust me, enter Galaxy. I just feel like it's your system. I feel like you're going to shine on stage. And when I said to her, like, I know you're going to top 10, she was like, nah, you're lying. Called it, didn't I? She placed top 10. And I said to her, all you need to do is go back next year with some coaching so that we can like pull you in, tweak you, and like she'll be a strong contender. She will top 5 next year, if not top 3. Like, she had just embraced that journey and embraced Miss Bariatric, and it is just such a privilege. This year we obviously have Scintillate Talent supporting as well, so the winners for Miss and Ms will receive a contract with Scintillate Talent, which again, something for me, has given me so many opportunities. It's just been incredible, and I've made friends through that who understand my Instagram, my social media, and they're so supportive of it, whereas some people obviously don't understand it, kind of thing. So yeah, they're supporting. Sin's been amazing. And then I haven't announced yet, but international mothers are going to get involved. So we will see what happens with that.
So I think she reached out to me. International Junior Miss got in contact with me from Derbyshire, because I'm obviously Miss Bariatric Derbyshire. I'm sure she reached out to me and was like, oh, if you need any tips, any help, let me know. She has actually started her own little business doing headshots and stuff.
Oh, amazing.
I think we've penciled it in for me getting some headshots with her. And then also with obviously Miss Bariatric, we're raising funds for cancer research. I have this big plan that I am keeping under wraps at the minute, but I think you know what it is briefly. And I'm going to try and pull her into it and get a little bit of help from her probably, to get the Ms. and Mrs. Derbyshire together and obviously create a little power couple.
Oh, I love that. And it's so nice when like sister queens all come together and help each other. It's so lovely. Obviously, like for me, I have Hayley and Emily, and like we work together, but like any of the other girls that I talk to, like one of the girls I competed against, Kirsty, she is now going to International Ms as International Ms Wales, and like everyone's like, you're not bothered? I'm like, why would I be bothered? She's my friend now, like we're friends, and I'm like, we're both supporting each other, and yeah, we talk like almost every day. It's a crazy world, but yeah, it's so nice. I'm so excited for you to have that and have working with like a little group of you.
Well, she came up as top 5
this weekend. IJM.
And oh my god, so proud. Not even met her yet physically, just kind of like supporting each other in any way we can. It's
so nice, isn't it?
Why cancer research?
So it's obviously a huge charity. It's widely supported. At the time, I was doing GB, and GB support cancer research. I didn't want to support it in the kind of normal way. So I wanted to support another charity, and that charity they were just ignoring me, basically. And I was like, okay, well, that's your loss if you're not going to talk to me. Obesity UK. they didn't want to know. They weren't interested in talking to me properly, working with me properly, which is a real shame because obviously I wanted to support that. Yeah.
Fit so well into obviously what you're trying to do and trying to like raise awareness as well for everything.
Yeah, like who better to raise money for than Obesity UK to have a look into these things? So I was really disappointed that they kind of wouldn't talk to me. I said, I'd love to work as an ambassador. And they more or less came back and said, well, they did come back and say, well, you don't answer questions on Facebook, so therefore we're not interested, kind of thing. And I was like, but I'm so active on Instagram. So I wanted to look at another way that I could support obesity. Or those living with obesity or that have been affected by it. And actually that came back to cancer research and that there's 13 cancers that are directly linked to obesity. So I spoke to the representative there and she was like, that's a brilliant idea. This is how we set it up. You just need to pick which one, which cancer that you direct it to. So that is my brief to the girls who compete is you pick one of those 13 cancers to support because then it is linked to looking into how obesity affects those changes, those cell changes, and how we can look to then beat those cancers. So that is why Cancer Research UK.
I know a lot of girls have already started fundraising for cancer research. What would you suggest would be a good way to try and link everything into the meaning of it while raising funds?
So I really do like the idea of movement. It's healthy for you, it's good for you, it's something that you wouldn't have been able to do previously. A few girls went up Snowdon last year and did a triathlon. I'm not asking you to go and run a triathlon. It was just incredible that she did. Even if you do a mile walk a day for a month and you just raise money doing that, or you do a cake sale because actually you're quite an introverted person and you don't usually put yourself out there. The whole point of Miss Bariatric is to get comfortable being uncomfortable. And I want everyone to do things that make them a little bit uncomfortable. So whether that is the fact that, they're not really a runner and they go do couch to 5K, or like I say, they're introverted and they put themselves out there and actually go and do a cake stand at the school fair and they're talking to people and interacting with people. That's a big achievement whilst also raising money for charity.
Good ideas. I am doing the Tough Mudder this year. This is going to be the second year and it's the first year kind of like completely lost my weight. Because I think I did my first one, I think I was like 4 months post-op or something like that. And very surprised that I actually managed to complete it without passing out.
I would love to do it, but
this year I am probably going to do it as one way to raise funds for cancer research, but also have other few things up my sleeve that are slowly in process of hopefully becoming true.
I love that. I love watching you all, like these little pieces coming together and trying. I really like everyone who really does throw themselves in. That's what I want to see for the next title holder. It's not just about having the pretty crown and going, oh, I've done it now. There is actually work that is required afterwards whilst we continue to build the brand, build what we're doing, raise awareness. So it's really nice to see a lot of you taking it seriously. You should be very proud of yourselves.
I just need to get my shit together and organise things because I've been like writing lists, and I'm like, I wrote a list, where did it go? Shit, I threw it in the bin. I thought it would just scrap paper, rewrite the list. And then Kyle's like, I went out and bought 3 new notebooks because I have 2 here as well as all my notes on my phone and they're full. And I'm like, I've got nowhere to write, but I like fancy notepads and I'm just there like, how many notepads do you need? I went, a lot.
I have notepads, but I don't ever use them. I just like them to be there and look pretty. And then like the kids will steal them. I'm like, oh, they've ruined it now. So then I'll buy more and then I just don't use them. Or I'll like use one for work and then it will go missing and then I'll buy another one. So there's like pieces and notebooks everywhere. But I'm the same. I love pretty notepad.
Also, I've got a shit ton of notes in my phone where it's gone, this means that, do this and that. And then I'm there like about a month later going back through my notes going, what was this related to?
Yeah, what does that even mean? What have I written down in shorthand that I thought I would understand at a later date and I don't?
Literally.
I'm so guilty for it.
My life. I like to be organised, and when I'm organised, I'm OCD about it. But then when I have moments of blasé, I'm there like, what in the world am I doing?
So are you excited for Miss Bariatric?
I am very excited. I told my mum that I was competing in the pageant and I don't think it like, personally, before I told her, I was thinking she's gonna be a bit judgy because my mum says it how it is. She doesn't beat around the bush. If she don't like something, she'll say something. And I was like, oh yeah, so you've probably seen a few of my posts. I'm competing in a pageant, Miss Bariatric. It's related to everyone that's had weight loss surgery. And she goes, all right, fair enough. She was like, have you planned for anything yet? And I was like, oh, we went for a content day and these were the three dresses that I tried on, and then this is the dress that I've got for one of the rounds. And she goes, fair enough. When the tickets came on sale, I was really nervous to actually ask her if she wanted to come because I thought she'd just go, it's too far and it's not my thing. And so I was just there like, just let you know, we've got some tickets held back for family and friends. Do you want to come? And she goes, that would be lovely. I was like, oh, okay, does my granddad want to come? And she goes, oh no, I've spoken to Pops. He'll look after her autistic little brother who probably won't get along with such a long day, a long drive and a long day. So she was there like, oh no, it'll just be me. And I was like, well, do you have any friends that want to come? And she goes, yeah, Claire said she would love to come and watch it. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, Kyle don't have a choice in the matter. Kyle's coming no matter what. And the ticket's already bought. But the fact that my mum and my mum's friend have both just turned and said, yeah, we want to come. I was like, it means a lot more to me now that they are coming to support me. And then obviously, just from the content day alone, the amount of confidence and empowerment that I felt after leaving that, I'm thinking, what's it going to be like at the actual full event? And
it's crazy.
The high that you're going to get from everything, and just yeah, I'm excited. I'm nervous, but I'm excited.
I had a moment before because obviously I take you all out for dinner the night before, and I had this moment where I was sat there looking at the tables in the restaurant, and I was like, it's happening. It's happening. Like, I've brought all these women together and it's actually happening. And when it all came together the next day, I cried so much. This is why I have a presenter. This is why Dan does it for me, because I was like, I'm not doing it. I can't do it. And like, I'm so privileged that I grew up with him at school. So he does he's done massive events in America and the Maldives. Like, he's actually a big presenter. And he was like, the first thing he did, he's such a git. When he got up there, he knew that I was like shaking and like crying about it because I was just so emotional seeing everyone together and knowing how they were going to feel. And he's like, we've got a very nervous young lady here who I'm going to introduce. And I was like, I can't believe you just done that to me.
Why have you just called me out?
This is why you're here. You're here to do that. Why have you just... But no, I said I wanted to do the prize giving. That was the bit I wanted to do. But otherwise, like, it's on Dan. That's his job. That is why he's there.
The overwhelming sense of relief.
I couldn't have done it without the support of girls, like I say, that I've met through pageantry and through weight loss surgery. Like Amy, I don't know if you know Amy or follow Amy. Amy's Sleep Life, it is. Amy Elsley, her name is. But she has worked like on London's West End, and I met her through the weight loss community, and I said, would you be interested in helping? I need someone to help with kind of that stage production side of it, making sure those girls are getting out on time. And I'm too tame to be like, come on everyone, like, I've got a big mouth, but I'll be like, girls, ladies, can we...
Don't want to upset anyone.
Yeah. Whereas Amy's like, everyone, shut up, get in line, number one, out, like military. So I needed her. She's coming back. So, you know, having her there to do that is, one, something she loves combined with her weight loss journey, but two, like, super helpful for me. Then Emily is just the biggest hype girl on the planet. I met her through pageantry, and she is there making sure like you are hyped up before you get out of that door. And we said, she's like, I want a job role. Like, what can my actual job role be? I was like, head of hype management. She's like, sick. So that is her official job title for the pageant. Shiv, I met through pageantry at Kent, and she came up, helped out, you know, again, made sure that everyone backstage is ready, is reared up, is in dresses, you know. So we have a team of people who are there zipping up, helping backstage. So yeah, I wouldn't be able to do it if I hadn't have met the amazing people that I have on my weight loss journey, through my pageantry journey, and them all come together. It's not just me, it is a whole team of people. My mum helps with all the admin because I'm crap at it, so she makes sure she keeps tabs on like everything. Bless her.
It's nice having the support, especially from family members that are willing to help you as well with stuff.
Yeah. Say my dad as well, you know, my dad does all the photography, so all those headshots and getting set up, and yeah, he's like paid in coffee.
He needs a coffee to keep going. That was such a long day for him.
I think as well, like there's the photographer that came from the Mirror, so he is an independent photographer, and he was like, "Oh, I'd love to come back and do it again," like because it was just such a good day. So he's not doing it to like get paid or anything. Like he's just like, I'll come photograph again."
Just
Like,
doing it for the hype.
so yeah, it's just I cannot wait to do it all again. I'm so excited, and just to see more people, and also because we've obviously changed the venue. I've got, whilst I'm actually on the call like doing this now, I can see like Dave messaging me. He's got a job today that he's trying to sort out for me, so I can see he's trying to do that. So he's got really stuck in this year as well. Like, what can I do? How can I have a job? Okay, babe, you can have a job.
I'll need Kyle's help if everything is successful for this fundraiser. I'm going to be like, you write emails or do something helpful.
I had Dave on doors last time, so I was like, here's your job. Here's the wristband. Check the names. Wristband. Can you do it? He's like, you're such a dick.
You got to sometimes mansplain things to a man.
Actually.
Because they're just so blasé, especially with Kyle. He's admitted if it's not fully relevant, he won't be fully committed to
Yeah, no, it's not going in. Yeah.
Was there any issues in the first ever running of Miss Bariatric? Was there any bumps in the road?
I would say like we had a few in terms of, obviously a lot of the girls haven't competed in pageantry. They don't really know like the rules. You know, the way you should maybe present yourself. That's not saying that you have to be someone you're not.
Mm-hmm.
You are just presenting a version of yourself that is suitable for the environment that you're in. Actually, a really good lesson, because obviously, you know, yes, you're this whole new big personality, but we also need to learn to be appropriate and when to. It's good for the life lessons of being in like a work environment or, you know, anything like that. So there's like a few kind of hiccups with girls where maybe, you know, they're still going through a huge emotional and physical change and maybe don't know how to control those emotions or those feelings. And I have the same this year too, where girls come to me and this is how I'm feeling, and oh my god, this person and that person, and they're behaving X certain way, and why have you done that? Like, they're big emotions, but I understand where they come from.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot to carry when you don't realize how emotionally challenging the weight loss journey in itself is and all those changes. So yeah, I've had to kind of improve my people management skills quite largely. But I do like to think that is one of where my own personal strengths lie, is I'm not a black and white person at all. You know, I will see every colour of the spectrum, and I will try and understand why someone feels a certain way, or I will try and get them to explain it to me so that I can understand it. I can then try and help you. I think I've had obviously a lot go on in my own life, not just like weight loss related, where I've had a lot of therapy. I've dealt with therapists. I've obviously worked in healthcare for a long time. So I do have this understanding where, you know, if someone has big feelings, I don't want to just exclude them. I don't want to, there's no need for people to get nasty. You just need to understand and try and help those feelings.
Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of like the only thing. In terms of the actual show run and production and all of that, like, no, there was no kind of issues in with any of that. It just ran so well. I mean, the end, I think Lizzie was piled on and they just lost all control, and by that point it was just the excitement took over, I think, and like you say, the anxiety crash of like, oh my god, it's done. Where I was like, you need to hold your shit together just for a little bit longer so we can get those nice photos that actually the bit that really matter. Yeah.
So,
They're like the only things.
quick brief to everyone that's joining in this year. If you do win the crown,
Don't do what I did. Yeah, don't do what I did. Have some sort of decorum. I think my reaction, I'd practice your reaction. It's really good for manifesting as well, of like practice listening and your name being called and going like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, I've won. My reaction was totally uncontrolled because I was just like, oh my god, I've done it. And if you watch the video of me being crowned, you can very clearly see what I say. Yeah, didn't hold myself together that well. I just couldn't believe it. Natural reactions are absolutely fine, but you know,
try and compose it a little bit.
compose it a little bit. It was when I it was afterwards, and they're then sashing Veronica, and I was obviously waiting at the back, like, to have my moment. And I was going to the girls, like, is this happening? What is happening? Is this real life? What is going on? What is going on? And I just couldn't, like, get myself together. I was going, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And then trying not to cry, because I was like, no, photos, makeup, photos. I cannot cry. Where's the makeup artist? Oh my God. It's so overwhelming. I just couldn't, yeah. So try and have some composure. Do as I say, not as I do.
That's my entire motto of life.
Exactly.
What do you have in the lead up to Miss Bariatric 2025? So we've already had a content day, and I think there's another one coming up. Is there anything else in the works that you're willing to share?
Yes. So we'll have another content day. Everybody is welcome. Obviously, girls who haven't chosen their dresses yet will get to choose their dresses. I also will have at some point some online bits and pieces ready. We have the confidence workshop, which is the day before the bariatric ball in Coventry. This is open to everyone. So it is open to men and women, and it is all about pushing yourself out your comfort zone after weight loss surgery. I wasn't going to share, you're going to now be the first person to know this until you obviously put this up. Like I've said, it is doing things that make you uncomfortable, doing things you wouldn't have done, the non-scale victories. So we will have workshops from a few different people on how you build confidence, any kind of dietitian questions that you have through going through that weight loss journey. Maybe if you're having like a bit of a regain issue, you've got that opportunity to ask those questions. We're going to go through a whole heap of stuff. General confidence. So if you are a generally unconfident person and still don't feel that, you're going to have the opportunity on how to improve confidence in the workplace, in your general life, doing the school runs, like as a whole. And we will be finishing off that session with a fire walk.
And what is a fire walk?
That is where you will walk across fire. So you will have a catwalk, you'll have a little lane that will be on fire, and you will be doing the fire walk. It's really uncomfortable because you think there's no way mentally that I'm going to be able to do that. And the lesson behind it is, yeah, you can. If you get over your head and you get over anything that your head is telling you and you just do it, you'll realize that if you put your mind to it, you can overcome those challenges and you can do it. That's the metaphor behind it. But yeah, I think it's exciting. I'm looking forward to doing it myself, like walking across fire. It's a crazy thing to think you're going to do. But obviously for all of the contestants, that's all included for you guys. So you'll be doing that.
So, last question before we start wrapping things up. Is there going to be a Miss Bariatric 2026?
Absolutely, there will be.
Is it already in the making?
Definitely on the books. I don't have dates confirmed, but 100% it will be happening. So I've split this year into Miss and Ms. I've had so many men who want to get involved, and I would absolutely love to involve the men. I have said that I haven't had the experience in the pageant world to be able to do that yet. But I have the Mr. Bariatric Award, which I will be doing this year again. So if you want to nominate any men, put them forward. But yeah, it is something that I would like to look at. So who knows, for 2026 that might come. We'll be looking at kind of growing it further. I did have applications from women from Ireland, from across Europe, from America. So who knows, there could be a Miss Bariatric in the US, with the international finals then taking place in the UK. Who knows?
Very exciting. Going to be very busy.
Be very busy. Yeah. There's still time to apply for Miss Bariatric, so please apply if you want to. You don't have to be sponsored. There are 2 age categories: Miss, which is 18 to 35, and Ms, which is 36 and above. If you aren't taking part, tickets are on sale, so please come and purchase your tickets. It's not just going to be, the pageant. I'm such a believer in having like a good time afterwards, so the after party will be an after party.
Good. We're all going to, all the participants are going to need it, and I'm pretty sure some of the family members and friends are going to need it. Thank you for coming on. It's been lovely speaking to you.
Thank you for having me.
And I will be seeing you at whatever content day, or if not, it'll be the Baraitric.
It will be.
I'd like to say a massive thank you to Senna for coming on to my podcast. It has been a long time coming, scheduling conflicts and all that jazz. She has been such an inspiration to me. It helped me with anything and everything that I've needed over the past couple of months. If you have a story, big or small, please don't hesitate to get in contact via email lifewithjode@gmail.com, or you can message me on my socials, which is at Life With Jode Official. You can watch my podcast on Podbean, Apple Music, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. I also offer a video version over on my YouTube channel, Life With Jode. And that's a wrap from me. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye!